Hello, my name is Father Philip Sosa. I'm a missionary of the Holy Family priest, and I have been a priest for 40 years. This year would have been my 40th anniversary, and be on June 1st. I was ordained on June 1st in 1968, and I'm originally from the city of Harlingen, Texas. It's the southern tip of Texas. And I come from a family of 9. My mom and dad were very instrumental also in helping me in my vocation. And I guess, they were very practicing Catholics. And even though I didn't go to a Catholic school, they did emphasize, that Catholic education was important. My family is nine, a member of 9, and 3 boys, 3 girls, and 3 boys. When I first was thinking about the vocation to the priesthood, I was very much, in a way, like most of everybody, a little embarrassed of wanting to become a priest. And when I was younger, I wanted to be an altar server, but I was never given the opportunity, mainly because I lived too far away from church. My mom and dad were concerned about our safety, and my dad was a truck driver. And so as a result, my dad was too far away from home many times, so then I would have to walk a long ways. My mom decided it was too dangerous to cross the main streets. So as a result, I ended up not going to becoming an altar server. But I always wanted to be of service, in which I was involved in the Catholic Church, my parish, as a CYO president, and also with the youth organization, and also in other activities in the parish later on when I was in high school. On career day in high school, we were allowed to select 2 careers we were interested in. And one, since I was interested in pursuing my college education, I knew my parents could not afford it. At that time, there was the draft. I was interested in the waters, so the Navy was one of my interests, and being that I had gone to a Navy recruiter. The other one name that I saw on the list was the priesthood. Father Pat Gallagher was a diocesan priest that came to talk to us about the priesthood. At that particular time, I was not aware of the differences between diocesan priest and the religious priest. The priests in my home parish were the missionaries of the Holy Family, and they were the ones who were taking care of our parish. Our Lady of the Assumption is the parish where eventually I was ordained. At that particular time, I realized also, that because I was embarrassed of admitting to my peer group that I had decided to try to go to the priesthood. I remember I had lied about it or covered it up because I was embarrassed. I don't remember what I said, but I never admitted to them. I do remember that when I went to the room where all those that were interested in the priesthood, brotherhood, or religious life, which the nuns, some of the group of individuals that I saw in that classroom were also admitting to me, how come you didn't say that you were interested in the priesthood? They said, well, probably for the same reasons that you were. You were embarrassed to admit it to me as much as I was embarrassed to admit it to you. And I think many of the kids would always think, that I was better than they were. I knew I wasn't, but we do. I was involved with the senior sports, so we can imagine what kind of rowdy group there was. But eventually then, my senior year, I ended up coming to St. Louis to go to the seminary in Overland. When I left, from Harlingen, that was the longest train trip in my life. I remember I traveled for 24 hours from Harlingen to St. Louis. I had no idea where I was going. I was only 17 years of age. And Father Joseph Matthew was the rector of the seminary, and he was the one that met me at the Union Station here in St. Louis. When I made it to the seminary, I remember the first morning when I got there, and then I felt very much at home. The priest and the students that were there made me feel like I belonged there. And I still remember that same day, in the evening, Father Matthew tells me, Phil, you have a telephone call. And I still remember that my My parents had told me that once I got here to call and let them know that I arrived. Well, I forgot. But anyhow, that evening, when Father Matthew tells me I have a phone call, I remembered, who knows that I'm here? And then I remembered that I forgot to call home. So, and ever since, I've always felt that I belonged here in St. Louis. I belong with the missionaries of the Holy Family, and they have been very good to me. Once I was ordained on June 1st, in 1968, I served in many ministries. First was my ministry as a hospital chaplain in Los Angeles. Then I came to a parish in Texas, which was for 6 months in the small parish of Cuero, Texas. And I really enjoyed that because it was the opportunity that I worked with one of our brothers, and there were 4 sisters, that helped make the pastoral team in that parish, and I really enjoyed it. Eventually I got transferred again to St. Louis, and while I was in St. Louis here for a period of 15 years, for 6 of those years I worked in formation, and then the last 9 years I was served as a provincial superior with my community. I was very honored at least to serve in that capacity, to minister to my own brother priest, and eventually then after 9 years I ended up going back to Texas to serving in different parishes. I went to Harlingen at Immaculate Heart of Mary Church, then for 4 years, and then afterwards I got moved again to San Antonio, where I worked for 5 years as vocation director. And then after that I went back to a parish in Dana, and I was there for 11 years. These 40 years as a priest have been very joyful to me, and I have really enjoyed it because a lot of people have allowed me to be very much a part of their lives. I think I have made a difference in their lives, by the fact, as a priest. But I'm also grateful that they have allowed me to be a part of their lives because they have made me the priest that I am today because of the love that they've expressed to me, and the love that I've been able to witness also by my own ministry to all those people. During my 25th anniversary, I remember that I was honored to have many of my friends that I have met over the years, that they came from the 4 different corners of the states, from Minnesota, from the East Coast, and from the West Coast that were present. And it really made me feel good about my own priesthood. And I was blessed, with many people who really cared about me. And I'm really grateful, at least, that I have been able to continue to work, in the same ministry and making a difference in people's lives. I would encourage for any of you that are interested in the vocation to the priesthood, not to be afraid, not to be embarrassed, given the circumstances of what's happening in our society, in our church today. God has a way of helping us discern our vocation and making the best of any vocation. I most certainly realize that my own prayer life has been very ups and downs, but it has been one of the things that have really supported me in being faithful to the call that God has placed in my heart, to make His love ever present, in the people that we serve. And I'm very fortunate and thankful to God that He has touched my heart and has allowed me to touch many other hearts by witnessing His love to others. May God bless you and give you the courage also to serve God in whatever capacity you are doing it in your own lives. Thank you.